Okay. And we're back.
We are back.
We're back. We are quiet in the back. I'm your host, Patrick William.
I'm Austin Jenny.
And this is the only podcast on the internet.
Yes, the only one. You will get all your opinions from us.
You will learn how to feel, how to be,
how to think,
how to watch the 2015 film by Natalie Portman. First featured directorial debut, I believe.
That is correct.
She had a short before this, but this is her first big boy movie.
Yes, first big boy movie. Bigger budget. Weird movie. This is going to be a weird and different episode.
Yeah, we're probably barely going to talk about the movie.
Yeah.
Because of what the movie's about.
Yeah, so A Tale of Love and Darkness.
We originally wanted to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Because we were going to do a bunch of Natalie Portman movies.
Yeah, we had no idea.
And we saw this one in her filmography, and it just sounded fascinating.
Yeah, we're like, wow, this is pertinent. You know,
So she did a bunch of interviews with the author of a book who lived as a young boy through the creation of Israel after World War II.
Yes, essentially that's...
And he wrote his memoirs.
Yeah.
And that person is Amos Oz. What was the book called? Do you remember?
Maybe it was A Tale of Love and Darkness.
A Tale of Love and Darkness.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the movie's of the same name. And we were like, wow, this sounds fascinating and especially pertinent with the political ongoings of war in Gaza.
Certainly.
Let's watch this movie.
Let's talk about this movie. I thought it was going to be rather provoking.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, it is, but not for the reasons we wanted it to be, I guess.
Not really.
So we fire this movie up, and before it even starts, you get all the credits rolling, and they are just one after the other. I want to say it was like 5 or 6.
Yeah, there's 4 major ones, but then like 3 or 4 like little sub
production companies all being listed, and they're all distinctly like Israeli companies, Jewish companies.
Yeah.
One of them, at least, we tried to look into them. One is like directly backed by the state of Israel.
Yeah, I can tell you right now. So we're looking at the Movie Plus Productions, based in Israel, an Israel production company that specializes in local films. It has strong connection to the Israeli film industry and Israeli government funding bodies like the Israeli Film Fund and Jerusalem Film Fund, and it has known involvement tied directly to state-backed cinema.
Okay. So what we learn quickly in this movie is that we are not just watching a memoir about the creation of the Israeli state after World War II. We are watching an Israeli state-sanctioned piece of media.
Yes.
That is essentially, and I say this having watched the movie.
Yes.
It is essentially just a propaganda piece for the state of Israel and the sort of Zionist movement, I guess.
Yeah, it's a puff piece.
It's a puff piece.
It's for sure just a puff piece. Yeah,
it softens the edges. It drives sympathy.
It completely disregards all sympathy towards... There's no sympathy towards anyone else's plight in it, essentially.
Right. There's no Palestinian perspective offered. They don't even ever address the Nakba.
Yeah.
Which we will get into,
yeah.
Like what exactly that is and why it's relevant.
Yeah, no shit.
The movie ends like just before the Israel-Palestine War of 1948.
Yeah.
It just takes place in this small window between 1945 and 47, the creation, where the UN sort of voted on the creation of Israel.
Yeah.
And made it real for the first time.
That's a convenient place to stop. And it's not even actually just the Israeli-Palestine War, it's the Israeli-Arab War.
Israeli-Arab War.
Yeah, because it was against quite a few other states, actually, too.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll get into all that. First, we kind of wanted to, lay some ground rules.
Knock out a couple basic ideas that we want to, that we just want to put forward before we talk about this stuff loosely.
Yes, exactly.
Because I think it's really important to have a lot of clarity.
Yes, especially because we're going to be exploring our own ideas without having any concrete solutions in our head.
In real time. You know, we're going to have a dialogue, and just to get a few things out ahead of it, first of all, we want to be very clear that Israel and Jews are not synonymous.
Oh, yeah.
The state of Israel is a political entity. It is a nation state.
Yes, it's a government.
It does not represent Jewish people globally.
Of course not.
And Jewish people do not represent Israel in any way.
Yeah, that's not how this works.
So there's no direct, concrete connection between Jews and Israel, broadly speaking, except when those people are like maybe part of the Israeli government directly, or they're settlers, or there's particular instances.
Yes,
but we would just want to make that distinction.
Yes,
that criticizing Israel is not criticizing Jewish people or Judaism.
Same thing with criticizing Zionism.
Yes,
also not criticizing Jews.
Exactly.
That's just the facts.
Zionism is a very particular belief system and ideology and set of actions that specific Jews are undertaking to push a political agenda. It's not something that all Jews believe in. So criticizing Zionism, criticizing Israel, there is no implicit criticism of Judaism or Jews ever.
Yeah,
that's not how that works.
No inherent malice whatsoever. No matter what Netanyahu says.
Yes.
He is not the speaker for the Jewish people. He is
a corrupt bastard.
Yes, he is a corrupt politician in charge of the Israeli state. So. Yeah.
I grew up in Evanston, Illinois. Huge Jewish population. Neighbors to Skokie, Illinois, which is, I believe, the largest Jewish population outside of like
New York, probably.
Yeah, like New York City.
Yeah.
In America.
I believe it.
Was actually one of the places chosen by the neo-Nazi or Ku Klux Klan people in the 90s to do one of their presentations. They drove and paraded through Skokie.
Really?
People threw rocks. It's like a historical event, and they were selected because of their Jewish population. I have tons of friends who are Jewish, who I love. I have no shortage of love for the Jewish culture and Jewish people.
No. I mean, it's just stupid to group together any group of people like that in any sense.
Yes.
You have to separate people as they are. It's individual people and their individual actions, sometimes individually supporting a corrupt state government.
Yeah. So that's all out front.
Yes.
Just want to be clear about that
as
we dive into a very contentious topic.
Yeah.
With current political ongoings taking form over the last year and a half in the form of genocide.
Absolutely. I will also say, to give some credence on the other side of that spectrum, I am also not pro any of Iran's proxies, such as Hezbollah or the Houthis or the Hamas in Palestine. Totally against all of that too. So
ding ding ding.
Yeah, it's just it's okay to be nuanced in your opinions about these things.
More than one thing can be true at the same time.
Absolutely.
And believing in multiple truths is not incoherent. It is not contradictory. It is actually extremely balanced and rational to understand multiple things to be true at the same time.
Yes.
Typically, state propaganda machines do not want you to accept multiple truths, because it dilutes their message.
Of course.
And it makes their movement less potent. So you will see black and white reasoning. You will see blanket statements. It's an all or nothing effort for those types of ideologues.
Yeah.
That is not how the world works. Hamas is an evil organization that did a terrorist attack. That really has nothing to do with the way that Israel responded, which is also evil.
And continues to respond every day.
multiple evils can happen at the same time.
Yes.
Multiple truths can be held at the same time, and it's important to do that. It's not just like, oh, well, like the whole like whataboutism thing is just, it pisses me off so much.
Me as well.
Just because you don't support Israel doesn't mean you do support Hamas.
Yeah. No.
Like, it doesn't work
and it's
like
also
that.
just like, I mean, the ignorance of some people to say that they support Hamas without like having any information or bothering to like look into it is just so blindly stupid.
Or like when people protest the war and they say free Palestine, like then people will be like, you do support Hamas. It's like, how did you get there? Like, these are not connected.
Their
ideas.
brains just have these neural pathways that have just been shortened so much. That
The propaganda has folded your brain. It's like a black hole, like a wormhole.
They have to think this way then. So now we got that out of the way. That's good.
This movie is a sort of a singular perspective from the point of view of a young Jewish boy in Israel in 1945 to 1947, and his parents sort of trying to, I forget where they moved in there from.
Poland.
From Poland.
Well, his mother was.
His mother was Polish.
Yeah, it didn't really specify about his dad.
Yeah.
Polish Jewish mother.
Yeah. Okay, so they've been like essentially settled in Israel by the Allied forces. I believe that's how it worked.
Yeah, probably, or they escaped on their own accord. It's
Yeah.
It's not really clear within the movie's context.
No,
and I don't
it's
think
not.
it's really meant to be either. You know.
It's not like a focus. Like the movie has a very like small scope, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like this depressed mother, an ambitious father, and the sort of life lessons that they teach to their boy.
Yes, which are also
Very weird.
a lot of strange allegories.
They
in this
speak
movie.
in story with like parables and allegories a
Yes.
lot.
Yes.
It's a very like, in that sense, it's a very biblical style of story.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because they actually don't really address religion almost ever in this movie.
Yeah, it's much more about like the race.
Right, like the culture of the Hebrews, the historical plight of the Jews.
Yeah.
There's not really any talk of religion or anything like that. It's just sort of like mirrored in the way that the characters tell each other stories. It feels like they're reading each other like passages from the Torah.
Very much so. Very much so.
Which I just thought was interesting. There's like a lot of psychology, I think, being explored of the Jewish people at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that there's a really big focus on etymology.
Yeah, on the words, yeah.
Yeah, so not just what words mean, but where they come from and how they're connected.
Yeah.
The father is an author, and he's constantly teaching his son the connections between words.
Yes.
He says, for example, childlessness comes from the word darkness in Hebrew, and he says that there's etymological connections between the words man, earth, and blood.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was very interesting because etymology, like, sort of represents a culture's connection, like historical connections between ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can see how like they get from one concept to the other.
Yes.
So it tells a story about a culture's like value system or like perception of nature and time and reality and stuff.
Absolutely. I also feel like it could have been at least a small part, a metaphor to the connection. So they're very connected to the words and how the words were rooted in each other and where they're from, you know, how they were created. I think that was also somewhat a metaphor of the Jews themselves were originally from Israel.
Right.
I think that they're trying to push that, like, that noble.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
I wrote down that etymology gives a sense of meaning to history, because words have meaning, but history doesn't intrinsically have meaning.
No, it's just events, facts.
Yeah, just like shit happens over time, and then it's up to us. We tell stories to create meaning from events.
Yes.
So like the etymology, like you said, sort of like mirrors the process of the Jewish people in telling themselves a story about their own struggle. They even say later in the movie, the narrator says, so the narrator is the boy.
Yeah.
He says that the creation of the Israel state extinguished a 1,000-year-long search for a place to belong in the Jewish people. He's saying that the people have been searching for somewhere to be for so long, and now they finally have it. And he says that like he believes because of this that his mom like loses sense of her identity.
Yeah.
And then she goes into that depression, which is an aspect of the movie I don't really understand. But
agreed.
This process of like 1,000 years of searching, right? And then getting there. That's like the etymology.
Absolutely.
Right, of the Jewish struggle.
Yes, of course. And
very cool. Like, honestly, it's a pretty cool like literary device.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course. But it's just hard when you're taking that into the real world context of that situation.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, does someone have a right to a land that they lived in 1,000 years ago? That
they did not live in. That a people that they feel historically connected to lived in.
Yeah. Well, they would say it's their ancestors.
They would. And I think that's fair to say, but you are not your ancestors.
Absolutely not.
So like we are all connected to our ancestors through, I mean, blood, but also like a series of stories.
Yeah.
That we understand our identity through, like process ourselves through. A sense of like belonging or context for our lives, right? Mm-hmm. Is that enough to like justify a Nakba?
Displacing 700,000 people?
Right. Because over the course of these 1,000 years or 2,000 or 3,000 years, you know, whatever the pre-modern history on all that is, over the course of that time, like civilizations change, people migrate.
Yeah, all sorts of other cultures rose and fell in that exact same spot. It's so near the cradle of civilization.
So many different societies have like, claimed it at different times. And, and to say that, like, well, because it's important to us and we had it once.
Through religion.
All right, that we should have it again.
Yes.
I mean...
They're also like using religion almost as a tool to claim its importance as well.
Yeah, and Jerusalem is the sort of like holy city for all three of the Judeo-Christian religions.
Yes, which makes it even more complicated.
All of the Arabs that were already living there just have just as much of a valid sort of right to be there as anyone else.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty sticky. It's a pretty like sticky way of thinking about life. Like this is something that Vladimir Putin does a lot. He thinks of territories in Europe in terms of like a very particular historical lens that he like tells himself.
Yeah, that he's choosing to look through.
Yeah, he chooses to look at it through a Soviet Union, you know, World War II era lens, and then use that to justify like having this long game plan on like acquiring Ukraine and then Lithuania and then Estonia and like the whole Soviet bloc, right? It's like if you start to tell yourself a story about the way things used to be, it can just really change the way that you look at the present.
Absolutely. And it clearly does in this movie and in real life. I mean, what this movie makes some pretty crazy generalizations as well.
It does.
Did you write those down?
I wrote down one. Yeah. There was a parable that the dad was telling the son about bullying. And then there was another one about the two brothers who share an abusive father.
Yeah.
So I want to maybe start there. They were trying to describe the way in which the Jews and the Arabs ended up like at war with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying that it's not always the case that people who like suffer together, who share a common enemy,
Mm-hmm.
become
Bond.
allies, like join in like a rebellion together.
Yeah.
You're saying usually it's actually the case that they end up seeing in the other one the face of their oppressor.
Yeah.
And he used the metaphor of like two brothers who have an abusive father.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of teaming up against the father, they tend to oftentimes like actually hate each other.
Yeah.
And fight each other, sometimes for the affection of the father.
Yeah. And while that might be true in some cases, occasionally, using all of Europe.
Yeah. So they extend the metaphor by saying that like England, like Europe is the father in this metaphor, the abusive father, and then the Arabs are one son and the Jews are the other.
Yeah.
And they were saying that the Jews were persecuted by Europe, by the Europeans in World War II, and they were persecuted by Europeans.
They were.
But to say like the Europeans,
That's such a gross overgeneralization.
it's just like literally not true.
Yeah. I mean, there were
Because-
certain European countries. There were multiple, too,
Yes,
you know? And
like-
there was...
The Nazis in
Yes.
Germany, the fascist Italians, there were
Yes.
fascists in Spain. There were anti-Semites in places like Hungary and Ukraine. And
Absolutely. Romania, for
all
sure.
of these places persecuted Jews.
Yes. But,
But also many places harbored Jews
yeah, of
and
course.
fought with a high body count for the freedom of Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Places like France and England, Poland, like it's just like so crazy to say that Europeans broadly
Yes.
persecuted Jews when also it was Europeans that freed Jews and
Yes.
created the Israeli state.
Yes. I mean, literally the UN did.
It's just wild. It's just like a wild generalization that sounds in the context of the movie sounds sort of like poetic and like there's a mirror, right, being shown between the Arabs and the Jews, and like they humiliated us and they humiliated you, and now we're fighting each other.
That Europe humiliated Arabs with colonialism.
Yeah.
And that's also, in a sense, somewhat true, but it's like you can't just go saying all.
It's just like so broad. The
Yeah.
statements that the author is making are so broad.
Yeah. I mean, he's a writer too, so you got to give him some credit that he's trying to make that, but it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't really serve this well, in my opinion.
It doesn't serve like the notion of pursuing like an objective sense of the conflict. Like it only serves the very specific, personalized, anecdotal sort of perspective that you get from a memoir.
Yeah.
Right. This is a single man's perspective who was a child at the time.
Yes, and then
Right, so,
became
like-
an adult Zionist.
Yeah.
You know?
So like we're seeing this sort of like the events that would underpin a Zionist belief system being shown in the most like sympathetic light to the person who would be holding those beliefs in the future.
Absolutely. I mean, and yeah, that's really what this movie boils down to. It is, as far as it goes, that I can truly imagine right now, the most sympathetic version, essentially, of this story, you know? I mean, like, to not bring up what happened directly after this movie's time, like, the ending of
Right.
what happened in this movie is so wild. And I mean, I think it's a good opportunity to describe what the
Yeah.
Nakba is.
I would say it's blatantly dishonest to end your story about the future of Israel
Yeah.
pre-Nakba. So the Nakba, I don't know like great details on the history.
I can read it off right now.
Go ahead and read it because I mean, I can describe it, but I know I'll miss like dates and events and shit like that.
So the Nakba, meaning the catastrophe, refers to the mass displacement and dispossession of Palestinians during the 1947 and 1949 period. Surrounding the creation of the State of Israel, it's a foundational and traumatic event in Palestinian history. Historical timeline of the Nakba. The UN partition plan happened in 1947. The UN proposed dividing British-ruled Palestine into a Jewish state, 55% of the land, and an Arab state, 45% of the land, in an international zone for Jerusalem. Jews accepted the plan. Arabs rejected it, viewing it as unjust because Arabs made up 2/3 of the population and Jews only owned about 7% of the land. Violence erupted almost immediately between the Jewish and Arab communities. In the movie, it said the next day. Phase 2, essentially, was the Civil War phase between November 1947 and May 1948. Armed Zionist militias like Haganah, Igron, and Lehi carried out coordinated military operations. Palestinian villages were attacked or surrounded. Key event was the Deir Yassin massacre in 1948. Over 100 Palestinians, including women and children, were killed, and this caused panic and mass flight in nearby areas. And then May 14th of the same year, 1948, Israel declared independence from Britain. The next day, armies from Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq invaded in support of the Palestinians. This became the 1948 Arab and Israeli War. War and expulsion was from 1948 to 1949. By the end of the war, 700,000 Palestinians had been expelled or fled their homes. It was widely considered an ethnic and cultural cleansing. More than 400 villages were depopulated and destroyed, and Israel refused to allow any refugees to return.
Yeah, so it's an ethnic cleansing operation of the Arabs out of the territory that was given to Israel.
Yes.
It was violent displacement of these people.
With the goal to destroy their culture.
Yeah, the goal was destroy their history, society, structures, dispossess them of their belongings, their land.
Yeah. I mean, you could see the reflections of what Americans did to Native Americans.
Yes,
it was a very similar
situation. Very
situation.
similar concept.
Yeah.
And I would accept that is a genocide.
100%.
Something like 20,000 Arabs were killed during this process, but a much larger amount were sort of what you would consider culturally genocided. Like it was an ethnic cleansing of culture, society, history, belonging.
Yes. Places of living. I mean, it was the large majority of it was just displacement,
taking the land.
Yes, literally, and that's what Zionism is all about.
And you will see a lot of sort of like denial of this telling of the Nakba by people who will say, well, Israel just accepted the terms laid out by Britain, or the UK, or whoever it was.
Yeah.
And the natural sort of logical consequences of taking the land from the people who refused to honor the deal are just what followed. And they'll say that, like, that's not an ethnic cleansing, or that's not, this concept of Nakba is overblown.
Or it was barren land before they moved in.
Right.
All this shit.
The bottom line is it's historical revisionism. People were violently displaced, and the Arabs did not agree to this deal.
Yeah. Yeah, not at all. And it was literally voted on by the UN, and so 33 surrounding countries voted on it, and they were given a yes, and then they declared independence right after that.
It reminds me again of the etymology that the dad says, the words man, earth, blood. I think that's a very telling choice to include in the story. And, to the author's credit, I think he's aware of, obviously, of course, of the connections there, that the Jews in this story are like they're willing to kill for this land. They're willing to die to defend their new home.
Yes.
Which ties into the sort of story that he tells his son about bullying.
Yeah.
He says that he was bullied as a child, and then his dad came to defend him at the school, and the bullies beat up his dad and pulled his pants down in front of all the teachers, and even the teachers just laughed. And I think he called the bullies Gentiles. Don't exactly know what that means in a religious context.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I assume it just, to some degree, means non-Jew. But the Gentiles bullied him and his dad, and he's telling his son, one day in school you'll probably be bullied too. It happens. Here's how to deal with it. But one thing I'm sure of, now that we have the creation of the state of Israel, you will never be bullied ever again simply for being a Jew.
Yeah.
And he says this with like great pride.
Yeah.
Which I fully understand and sympathize with, the sort of like the trauma of the Jewish people that they carry with them in this moment.
Absolutely.
The catharsis.
True generational trauma.
Truly. I mean, we're right on the heels of the Holocaust.
Yeah. Years.
And so when he's telling his son, we have a country now. We have the state of Israel. You will not be bullied for being a Jew. This is a huge moment of catharsis and relief for this family.
Yeah.
For the dad. He feels like the Jews are safe.
Yeah.
You know? And I fully sympathize with that perspective.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to even. It's like we can't truly even begin to imagine the plight of what it must have been to have your grandparents, your parents, your great grandparents, and everyone that you've ever been connected to or know be affected in some way due to anti-Semitism. Like, that is a horrible existence. It's just the answer isn't. Exactly. That's the problem.
The dark part is that what we've seen now is that the victims of the bullying have now become the bullies. They have the power. They have an outsized leverage in the region.
Yep.
They have the military strength of the U.S. military.
Yeah, full backing from us for the most part.
And now it's not just a matter of safety. It's like,
it's their turn to kick the kid.
Yeah, they're going so far beyond what their safety requires.
Yeah.
I've often heard the argument that, like, both sides will do this, but, Israel will shoot missiles into Gaza or into somewhere else in Palestine, and they'll hit, like, hospitals and stuff. And they'll say, well, Hamas was hiding in the tunnels in the hospital. It's the only way to strike them. And they make this image of like a man with a hostage, right? It's like Hamas has the innocent hospital as a hostage. But you can't just shoot the hostage.
Yeah. Even if it's true. Even if there is Hamas leadership or whatever inside of a hospital, you still don't break.
You don't bomb the hospital. That's the thing.
Hospital.
If an evil man is holding a child hostage and says, "Don't do anything rash or I shoot the kid."
Yeah.
And then your response is to yourself shoot the kid.
Yeah.
How are you better than, you're just the same as that person?
I don't know.
Morally, what are you doing?
It blows me away. I've heard people support that and then be against like the bombing of a civilian sort of like, say, like a supermarket or like a wedding in like Iraq, when we were bombing them. And they still probably are, but like it's just like it's so interesting, like the immediate flip when it comes to anything to do with Israel.
Yes.
It's like all things go out the window. They cannot do wrong. And that's terrifying to me. I don't understand it.
The unwillingness to not just push the propaganda line.
Yeah.
And it really just comes down to like the identity politics, the us versus them, who is deserving of dignity, who deserves to be killed ruthlessly, right? And if your answer to who deserves to be killed ruthlessly is anything but no one, sorry, bud.
Yeah,
we're not on the same side on this issue.
Yeah, man. I mean, this whole movie and the thoughts that have been provoked by it really kind of, unfortunately, put me off of Natalie a little bit.
Yeah. We looked into some of her public statements and positions, and
real tiptoer.
Yeah, she's a tiptoer. She has sort of disavowed blanket support for Israel, blanket support for any of the military actions. So she's not like full-throatedly just a supporter of Zionism.
So that's good, right?
That is good, but she won't call it a genocide. She won't support divestment. She won't support boycotting.
Yeah, she doesn't do the BDS list at all. Or
she does, broadly speaking, support the Zionist mission. She just sort of denounces these particular violations, these particular instances of extreme violence.
It really, in my opinion, just seems like she's trying to walk that line so she doesn't piss off either side too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
just stay maximally.
It sort of reminds me of like when a person in America, just to ground it in something that we like understand better.
Sure.
You sometimes have like people pre-MAGA say like, I'm a socially liberal but fiscally conservative.
Yeah.
Right. And so that means that ostensibly they support things like gay marriage and equal rights.
Yeah.
But they don't want to fund it.
Yeah.
We shouldn't spend any money supporting it. And there's this sense in which like, okay, your words are saying one thing.
Yeah, but your actions.
But if I follow your money,
yeah,
right, you actually don't support these ideas. You won't support the people that the ideas would help.
Yes. And when it comes down to it, words only do so much.
Right.
Money is where the things move.
If you say that you're against settler violence, you're against the indiscriminate bombing of Gaza, but you, broadly speaking, support the Zionist movement
and work for
and you're putting out propaganda puff pieces for the Israeli state media.
Yeah.
There's no real concrete sense in which I can believe that you don't support the eventualities of that movement.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You can't have your cake and eat it too in this particular sense.
No. Yeah, so that's a shame.
It is a shame.
You know? I mean, I don't know. I didn't even know that she was an Israeli-American citizen until
she
today.
holds dual citizenship. She was born in Jerusalem.
Yeah, so that's news to me, and it doesn't make me think anything less of her for that aspect.
No, of course not.
You know, it's like that has nothing to do with it.
I just didn't know that about her.
Yeah, definitely. It's just it's crazy that there are so many celebrities, for one, that are so unwilling to actually like say anything meaningful about the subject, you know, and then I don't know. It's crazy. It's all so upsetting.
Well, the uncomfortable truth is that, there are plenty of people that are sort of Zionist. They support Israel, or at least they don't support Palestine enough or care enough to denounce Israel. And plenty of those people hold positions in Hollywood that are pretty powerful and influential. And
sure,
if you come out in the wrong circles and say the wrong thing, you can lose work.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. And if you are not the type of person for whom the principles come first and the money comes second, or you're the kind of person that just is a Zionist,
there's that too.
Then you're not going to ever take any real steps to try to be vocal about it or whatever, because you kind of like to see it from the background.
Yeah. Support it quietly.
Yeah. So this film is really it's a showcase of Jewish trauma that develops like a profound sense of sympathy for the Zionist position.
Yes, it does.
It is state-sanctioned propaganda, and it seems, just watching it, like it's a story which is manufactured in a lab to like create the perfect sense of like historical justification moving forward for the settlers and for taking more land and for just like
sure
washing your hands of the Nakba.
It reinforces like almost like a mythical, noble story of like creation. You know, it's
Right.
like we belong here because of how deeply we feel it and
Right.
how much our ancestors are a part of this
Etymology of our people is rooted in this land,
Mm-hmm.
man, earth, blood. This is our identity. You know, we deserve it and we will fight for it. And that mythologizing of your own story, it just washes away all the politics. It's like,
Yeah.
Are we just going to pretend that this wasn't just like a nation building operation brute forced by the UK?
Yes. Well, I mean, that's exactly what they want you to pretend.
That the Arabs had a say in it, that they weren't just like violently dispossessed.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what upset me the most about this entire movie is just it. I mean, we see like 10 Arabs, 10 people who aren't just fully Jewish.
Yeah. There's virtually no Arab perspective portrayed.
No. And then in the one, they almost like kind of paint him in a bad light anyways. You know?
Who is that?
At the dinner party. I kind of felt like that was like kind of negative. Just like the overreaction of the child getting hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
There was an interesting couple lines in there.
Yeah.
Where the son, the protagonist, the son, is meeting this Arab daughter for the first time. And they're the same age.
Mm-hmm.
And he speaks to her in Arabic because he knows she's Arab. And she returns in Hebrew.
Yeah.
To prove like, no, I can talk to you in Hebrew. Like, and so they both know each other's languages. So they immediately like make this connection, and kids are kids. They're not as prejudiced, and they just like start talking and laughing and smiling. And the boy says, because they're talking about the potential UN votes and the creation of this state. And the boy says to her, there's room in this country for both our people. Mm-hmm. We just need to learn to live together with respect.
Yeah.
In a later scene, the dad says to the boy, if there's a war, no, when there's a war, we will win. Just point blank.
Yeah.
So you see the like generational difference of a hardened adult.
Yeah.
And the sort of like naivete or utopic thinking of a child.
Absolutely.
And it didn't go anywhere in the film, but
yeah,
I think it's pretty clear that they showed the father and the son both like portraying those different ideas intentionally.
Yeah. I think go ahead.
It doesn't come across as a critique of what the Israeli government does at all. More just like showing the perspective difference, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's probably a good time to get into the technicals of this movie as well.
Yeah, let's just talk about the movie itself.
Yeah, get it out of the way for a sec. I think this movie is fucking mid as hell.
Yeah,
as far as like the actual movie, and
it's not great.
Kind of dog shit, to be honest with you. It's even like worse than mid.
Set aside all of the content of the movie, the Israeli-Palestine
stuff. It's no longer propaganda.
Set that aside. Let's just talk about the movie itself.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman's directing.
Why is it so green?
Not great. The color grading, yellow, green, the entire movie, borderline gray.
Yeah.
No fucking color. Yeah. No life in this movie.
Not until like the very final scene, essentially.
Finally, the last two scenes have some color. So we both mentioned like right away, the lighting and the color grading in this movie kind of suck.
Yes.
The directing, I think, is pretty bad.
Yes.
Like the shots, the way, the pacing, it's just very slow and ethereal. but in like a boring way.
Yeah, I can get down behind some like cool, like, you know, dreamy, ethereal shots and stuff like that, and like the slower pacing, if we're talking about something interesting. This is dreary and gray in a negative way, because it can still be a sad, ethereal experience and still be good, and it's just not. Like, no. The technical side of it, her directing is just unfortunately pretty much nothing to write home about.
No, it's pretty mid. So directing, lighting, coloring, not great. Acting, okay.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's passable.
It's in a different language, so I can't really get a sense for inflection, intonation type of stuff because I'm reading subtitles, but it's just like not remarkable, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is the kindest way to say it. Just sort of like decent performances all around, nothing special.
Yeah. I mean, and that also kind of just makes sense. It's not written, but it's performed by all unknown Jewish actors, you know? And it's
Natalie
like
Portman.
And Natalie Portman. And it's like, that's nothing against them. It's just like, you know, they're not in, at least for our American sensibilities, it's just not what I'm used to in any sense, you know? Which, I don't know. It's not necessarily a negative. I just didn't like it.
I felt like the depression of the mother character kind of just derails the broader like story of the movie.
Yeah.
And I understand that this is a memoir of the boy, so in the movie the mother character does commit suicide, I believe. So obviously that's a big part of his life. It's a big part of his personal story. So it deserves to be in the movie. But just like when you're watching this from start to ending, there's a story being told about the creation of Israel, about the people who are moving there and starting it. And then there's this separate story about a depressed mom who's like on medication and then kills herself.
Yeah.
And it really, for me, it just like detracted from, like, it doesn't like gel with the other part of the story.
They don't intertwine well at all.
Right.
You know, it is like every time it's like almost like whiplash of going back and forth. Like sometimes like very, you know, it's not necessarily good, but it's deep. You know, like in deep dives on why you should be feeling sympathy for all of this. And other times it's just like she's standing in the rain hitting herself, and it's like, okay, well, that's just not necessary, you know, for the story.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I just felt like this script kind of was like divided in two. It was a little bipolar, and it wasn't that tight in terms of telling a story.
I bet that the original script was probably a lot more about his mom and his experience, actually. And then it probably got filtered through some shit.
Once the state media production companies got involved,
they're
like, we need less personal stuff, more political stuff about how the UN justifies the Nakba.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. What would you rate this film?
3.
Yeah, I was just thinking a 3.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about it until just then.
Lower, for me, this is worse than Ron.
This is not worse than Ron.
I didn't like it as much as Ron.
That's so crazy to say. Fuck you, Ron. Oh, what did I give Ron? A 2?
You gave it a 2. I gave it a 4.
Oof, jeez.
But collectively, they're both 3s, I guess, is what we're saying.
I'll give Ron a 3.1.
You're bumping it up?
Yeah, I'll give Ron a 3.1.
Oh, yeah. This was a bad movie, man. It just... Our scale is based on a 5 being a neutral experience. Don't love it, don't hate it. It's just kind of, I could have not seen it.
Yeah.
I had overall, I would say, like, a bad time watching this movie.
Yeah, rather bad and upsetting and also boring, which is another crime in itself, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. And to be honest, part of why I didn't like it was because I wanted to like it so much more than I did. So, like,
yeah,
the disappointment is a factor. Like, this is such an interesting topic.
Yes.
It's such a valuable piece of history to understand.
Yes.
And getting like memoirs and perspectives from this era seems so pertinent to today's like global atmosphere.
I thought we were totally going to get a deep dive on like, you know, here's an Israeli's perspective on what the Nakba was like. And, you know, I was telling you that before we even turned it on when we were going in dark.
Right.
And I was like pretty stoked to be like, wow, I've never really seen that from that side. And it's turned out to be fucking state propaganda.
It's just like a puff piece. I'm like, dude.
Like, why? Waste of an hour and a half for one. Yeah. And it's discrediting Natalie Portman in my eyes a lot as an actress and director. Because, I mean, also, it's not like it was just worth a shit for the actual technical ability. Why was it so green?
Why was it color graded so green and yellow?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that another allegory? Really weird allegories, dude. Like, honestly, I don't know. Yeah, shit was mid as fuck. But I do think that we should announce that we are going to, because we were caught off so
off guard by how one-sided this was.
Yeah, I think we have the pretty much a need to interject with the other side of the story. So we did a little research. Mm-hmm. We found this 2021 movie called Farha. It is directed by a Jordanian-Palestinian filmmaker named Darren J. Salam. It is a powerful historical drama portraying the Nakba, the catastrophic displacement of Palestinians in 1948, from the perspective of a 14-year-old girl.
Okay.
Yeah, it won
so
the world premiere.
A little bit of the other side.
Yeah.
I mean, something about the Nakba at all.
Yeah, I just want to, like, you know, I want to know the other side. If we're going to watch one completely... I don't even know that this... I feel like this is probably going to be a lot better. But I want to see both sides. That's really all it comes down to.
Me too.
And I think it'll provide another, perhaps even more interesting discussion about the entire thing. But,
yeah, as someone who's just like interested in the history and wants as many perspectives as possible,
mm-hmm.
I need more about the actual Nakba. This, to be fair to this movie, or to the goal, I guess, of this movie, it is still valuable, even if it's propaganda.
Yeah.
To see the sort of like rose-tinted version of what underpins Zionism. It's still
totally
valuable
agree.
To see, to absorb these sentiments.
100%.
Especially with the awareness that it is like a propagandist kind of media. Like, you got to go into it knowing that.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, for sure.
It's still valuable to like the more people's perspectives that you can understand, and the more pieces of this that you can put together, like, the better you understand life and history as a total.
Yeah.
So it's still worthwhile in its existence.
Yeah. I feel like there's probably better ones out there, though.
For sure.
You know?
Like, I would appreciate if it was more objective. I know, like, objectivity is a farce.
Of course.
Anytime you're dealing with history, interpretation, art, there is no objective, but like there are levels of subjectivity.
Absolutely.
And this one is like really all in on its own perspective.
Dude,
so I don't really love
its own
that.
farts.
Yeah, it's sniffing its own Zionist farts here.
Ew. Oh, yeah, man. I mean, that's pretty much...
So, officially, we can't really recommend that you watch this movie.
Yeah, I mean, unless you go into it like Patrick just explained, it's like, know where this movie's coming from before you watch it. I wish I would have. I probably wouldn't have watched it. I would have much rather watched something a little less biased. But.
No, I mean, I think the point of this podcast, we both believe this, is that we want to watch and review the movies that we think you should watch and love.
Yeah.
And we do occasionally take swings at movies that neither of us have seen, because that's life. We can't just stay in our little bubbles forever and just watch the same movies we've always watched.
Yeah, of course. We need some fun stuff.
So we're going off of just connections. Okay, Natalie Portman, we respect her other work. Let's try this. It sounds interesting. Sometimes it's a fail.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, occasionally the pod is going to present you with movies that we actually don't recommend that you watch, that don't score above a 5.
Yeah, and somehow you got 2 of them this month.
Yeah. Whoopsies. And this is coming off the tail of 2 back-to-back 10s.
Dude, like, what the fuck, dude? What is that? Who?
The cosmic irony, man.
No
you can't escape
shit, dude. No shit.
So,
yeah,
well,
man.
whatever.
Yeah, don't watch this movie unless you, fill out the safety form.
Yeah, sign the waivers.
Yeah, no shit. All right, well,
thanks for tuning in, you guys. Like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment.
Yes.
Tell us.
Oh Lord.
Tell us in the comments if you support Zionism.
Oh Jesus.
Or if you're more of a Free Palestine kind of dude.
Yep. Yeah. Get really into it though. I want to hear like why.
Yeah, don't hold back.
Yeah.
I want it in the comments. So.
Unless you're that one guy.
Yeah, unless you're that one guy who commented on our Saving Private Ryan
We obviously
episode.
know what side you support.
Yeah, we are not the pro-MAGA, pro-Nazi side of this. So
how can you
pick your battles, bud?
Oh my God.
Pick your battles.
No
Love
shit.
you guys.
Mwah,
This has been Quiet in the Back.
Welcome to a movie that is purely propaganda. Perspective of a Zionist, they want to steal your land. Welcome to a place that was created by the UN. Zion went to war with everyone and forced all of their people in. The Middle East is crazy, it's got a lot of people. Most of them are normal, most of them are not evil. If you steal their land from them, they surely won't be happy. Zion doing ethnic cleansing, surely that is crappy. Please don't shoot the hostage. It isn't right. Let's keep it tight. Let's keep it tight. Please don't shoot the hostage. Respect each other. We've all got mothers. We've all got mothers. England controlled Palestine with force. They rule and crushed. Colonialism from the past has turned your home